Люди пішли геть. Що зробила війна?
People who had lived here went away. What did this war do to the building?
Today it is a shelter for Vasil. He is an artilleryman. He has been at war for 5 years now. He knows perfectly well what the war turns villages into.
What has this war done? No one will come back here.
Ні, все, це кінець.
Do you really think no one will come back?
Of course not. That is, this is the end. This house will be destroyed, or maybe they will build something new here someday. It is no longer subject to restoration.
Vasil serves in the 24th Brigade, named after King Daniel of Galicia. His calculation defends the Bakhmut direction.
В порівнянні за тою і
Modern warfare cannot be compared to the anti-terrorist operation or the so-called joint forces operation before. The intensity of hostilities was very high at the beginning of the war. Spring and summer were harsh. Then we reached more or less parity.
The work of an artilleryman now is often the expectation of his new targets. There are dozens of artillery systems at the front line. Each one works on command. This 122mm self-propelled artillery is also waiting in the wings.
Доволі точно. Доволі точно.
It works pretty accurately. Consider that it hits a tank. And this seems to me to be quite accurate work.
Як ви називаєте?
Do you call your machine in a diminutive way?
Ні. В мене такого немає.
No, I don't call it by a name. Well, when there is a retracement and I see it, then I can ask it for something by calling it by a pet name, but in my own way, silently.
Та.
Does it work?
Працює. Працює? Серйозно?
It does. Well, I tell myself so.
Microwave, photographs, leftovers. Zakhar is taking out the most valuable things from his house, where a Russian shell flew in.
This is not human, completely. You need to be a monster to kill civilians. 2 children and a woman were killed.
His house is not near the front line. There are no soldiers here yet, but there are Russian shells. Zakhar says they are trying to intimidate the locals.
We all have problems here. What should we do? What the West is doing, America, Germany, why don't they give us weapons, powerful weapons, to hit Moscow?
Виставляєте приціл спочатку.
We are setting up the score, at first up, then upwards. And when all 3 lights are lit up, it means that the scope is aimed. There is no more than 1 minute between the command, fire and the start of operation. From 2 to 3 projectiles are given for working out one target. The enemy is advancing on the outskirts of Bakhmut, trying to bypass it. We are supporting our infantry in hitting targets.
У нас вони нові, старі. Типа з капрі.
Our projectiles are new, but at the same time old. We've got them from overhaul, but Soviet projectiles are not that good.
Наскільки багато
How much work do you have now?
More or less, it became a bit less work than it was before.
Декілька разів зменшила, особливо їхні артобстріли, набагато разів зменшили.
The intensity has reduced several times, especially Russian shelling has greatly decreased. Most likely they do not have enough ammunition. There are a lot of videos they are recording, turning to their command, telling them they lack many things. But it is good for us.
Ми відпрацювали.
We work the target out and that's it. Then we at once receive the command to cover.
Трохи спала інтенсивність, на мій погляд, ведення.
In my opinion, the intensity of the conduct of the artillery fight has subsided a little, thanks to the fact that other countries help us a lot. If it is like this, everything will be fine, definitely. This is the only outcome, but we need their support. Without it, the battle will become much more difficult for us.